So what's your take on both the security risk posed by TikTok itself and the approach that the administration has taken to that? It seems either company-specific or China-specific and not data security specific.
Well, yes, the action that the administration has taken is on some levels fairly outrageous, actually. It is unprecedented. None of this has been done before on a content basis, and it was hard to understand the rationale behind going after TikTok. And then WeChat together in this executive order, and that kind of came out of the blue. I think to a lot of folks.
Now, why do you say outrageous? Because a lot of people will say, "Hey, look at this story in the Journal. Look at their practices, and look at the Chinese government's policies."
Let's be clear. There is a real risk here, and everybody needs to know about that. In the past, though, we've had a sort of pretty wide open net that allows Chinese companies to get to Americans in some ways, but with notice and choice on the part of individuals. And if there are violation of app platform guidelines, there would be action against the various companies that may have that control the platform, either Apple or Google, on the mobile space. But to have a government step in this, it's an escalation of a general trade war that's been going on. And it might be overblown in some ways, but let me be clear. There is a real risk of data flowing to the Chinese government, the Chinese Communist Party, and that should be a part of anything that an American government takes action against.
Chris, Julia Boorstin here. Tell me about that risk. You say there's a risk of information flowing to the Chinese Communist Party, but when we're talking about the kind of data that's being collected by TikTok users, this is maybe other data on their phone. What is the data that's actually being collected, and why is that such a risk?
And I think that what you're seeing with the breaking story around their circumventing other security measures on the phones, that begins to get at what's dangerous. I mean, people look at, is it really that dangerous if the Chinese Communist Party knows that my renegade dance is bad? Probably not. But if there obviously is more data on the phones, or if there's other activities, and I think you saw a number of American companies and American governments at a subnational level begin to be concerned about that and take action around it. Now, a blanket ban might be the right way to go here, and it might actually drive a deal that allows for TikTok and what originally came from ByteDance and Musical.ly to continue operating, because obviously American teenagers love that, and teenagers around the world love it. But the risk factor may or may not be addressed by this fairly blunt instrument that's been used.
And when you think about what the potential is in terms of acquisition, do you feel like Microsoft is necessarily the best one to address those privacy and security concerns? Or do you think that this is such a big challenge to unwind these two businesses, the domestic business from the Chinese business, that's a challenge that Microsoft might not want to take on right now?
It is going to be a huge challenge, and there's no question about that. Now, the companies that operate at scale, including Microsoft, have very sophisticated security infrastructures and understandings of how the platforms that they have run have been infiltrated in the past and attacked in the past. So, I mean, it is almost an imperative that if a company is going to acquire TikTok, that it be a large company that already has a lot of expertise in this area. Now, the complexity of unwinding the interoperability with the Chinese, with the Chinese service, and TikTok has emphasized repeatedly, and we don't know for sure if it's accurate, entirely accurate, that American operations are served from servers that are not inside China. That would have to be verified. There's a whole bunch of things that need to go into how either they would prove what they were doing, although with the ban in place, it's the clock is ticking. Like, they're not going to be able to continue operating. A restriction order from CFIUS or from other U.S. government agencies is almost unchallengeable in the courts. They kind of need to do a deal. Microsoft does have the scale to do that. I think that they indicated by their quick blog post about the deal that they are temporarily in the lead. We'll see if others step up.